What's going on, everyone? So today you are in for a very interesting video. This is actually kind of a follow-up to a video that my wife did on her channel a little while back, explaining one of the main things that we don't like about a feature inside of this RV. Well, we got the replacement in today courtesy of the folks over at LCI. LCI has this huge kind of a marketing push to let people know that they do a lot more than just RV frames and other things like that. Pretty much about 80% of your RV probably consists of Lippert components. And yeah, they wanted to show one of their new lines of product in our RV. So I was like, sure, let's do it, because it actually addresses an issue that we have with the current product in our RV. So you're not going to want to miss this video, especially if you're looking at maybe remodeling the inside of your RV a little bit. Anyways, we're going to get these things unboxed, and let's step inside real quick and show you what we're talking about. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, welcome to the inside of our 2021 Coachman Brookstone 398 MBL Concept Edition. I guess we call it the BTB RV Concept Edition. We have the single AC in the center here up and running, even though there's 3 units on here, but we only need 1 running for what we're doing. The project for today's video is removing this. And this is just honest review of this furniture that came in the RV. The reason why are a couple reasons. First of all, this cushion right here extends about 3 inches into the actual seating area. On our chaparral that we had, which also had Thomas Payne furniture, it didn't do that. It was a different love seat, theater seat, and it went right to the edge, so you had this whole seating area. So the problem is if you sit down in here, you instantly feel kind of like you're being compressed side to side in the seat. So that's something my wife doesn't like, and it's something I really don't care for. That's the number one. Number two, and this is the main one, are these controls right here. It's super cool that they have the controls, but they're all capacitive controls, kind of like your screen on your phone, whereas if you touch them, they automatically come on. And right now, I can touch them and nothing's happening because we unplugged them. Simply because if you are walking by and you brush up against those controls, or you have a child and the child climbs on the chair and accidentally presses one, you can turn the heating function on unintentionally. You can turn the vibrator, the massage function on unintentionally. So we don't like that. That's definitely features we don't like. And third and finally, the reclining feature on these chairs are completely manual. Now that's not that big of a deal for, let's say, a residential or a home theater seat, but the problem here is that if you just lean your head forward, you pretty much make the seat reset to its normal upright position. It's just very, very touchy in terms of using your reclining feature and then making any movement at all, because they want to kind of shoot back up when you're done. So the folks over at LCI have a new and improved replacement to this, and we're going to install it today. My only fear is that it's not going to match that. And they do have a replacement for this, but these are super, super dark. And the new ones, I don't believe, are going to be as dark. So we might have a bit of a mismatch going on right here. We're going to see how it looks. They offered to send the replacement sofa to match the actual theater seating if we don't like how it looks. So we might have to do that. The big question here is, I can see how this can fit out the door because these come apart into 2 sections each. So you can squeeze all this stuff out the door. The problem with this is this entire section right here, pretty much, and including the backing and the bed in here, is 1 section. So getting this out the door might be a bit more of a challenge. But we're not focusing on this today. We're going to try to get this thing taken apart and out that door. Okay, so we're behind the theater seating right now, and you got these flaps all across the back. And you have a harness right here, and this is for the heat or massage function, maybe both. So the first thing I need to do is disconnect these 2 plugs on the back of both chairs. You got another one back there. We have it unplugged from the wall. And then you can see right here, you have this clip. So if I lift out on this clip on each side, the entire back section of this theater seat should lift up and come off. But first, I have to disconnect those 2 plugs, and then we'll see if we can pull the top half of this off. Okay, so yeah, I pulled the 2 clips, slid it up slightly, and go ahead and pull it off. Should just pull straight up. There we go. All right, you can set that over there on the sofa if you'd like. Okay, we got this side out now, and this is what it looks like. So I believe the centerpiece right here is going to come out all as 1 unit. Actually, the back may come off on this as well to make it a little bit smaller. So we're going to see if we can take that off. And then these will separate from that, and we should be able to get all of this out the door in small pieces, and maybe even reuse the boxes that are out there to hold this stuff. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what we're going to do with this. And you know, I'm kind of wondering that myself, but it will probably either be donated or given away, or something related to a veterans organization or some type of a charity, because I don't like to just throw away stuff, because I definitely don't want to waste this stuff whenever there are folks out there who could possibly use it. But if you guys have ideas, leave a comment below on what we should do with this setup. Yep, I was right. The centerpiece came out easier than the two other pieces. Well, they all came out really easy, but of the easiest, it was definitely the centerpiece right there. It came out the exact same way. It has the same little clips right here on the bottom. But yeah, that's it. I guess a smart thing to do would be to remove any remotes that are in here. You know, as far as we are in the future of technology, we still have pretty crummy universal remotes. So need to come up with a better universal remote. All right, so we're going to take these portions off of the center armrest portion and haul them outside. All right, so we have the theater seats flipped on their back right now so we can see what's going on. And it's interesting how they attach them. They have this big frame or bracket that runs across the bottom and the top, or I guess the front and the back. And it uses that frame to attach the legs, the bottom portion of each seat to it, as well as the center portion right here. So when I remove all these little rubber bumpers right here, it should free up the chairs. It should, because I don't see anything else connecting them from the side. Now what's also interesting is that they have these really interesting kind of sectional interconnection pieces that you would use if you were gonna kind of plug and play this together for a home. So that is really cool that they're already on here. I just didn't expect to see that. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of these, and it should free up the actual seating area. Okay, so we got them off and they are free. So now I just need to remove these from the center portion right here, and we should be able to disconnect all three of them from this assembly. Now, what I do need to be careful of is this cord right here, which is to the LED light strip that's running across the front. So I believe it's just this one plug right here. It is attached to the frame rails on the actual chair, so I do need to cut these, but I'll leave it attached to the main rail up here. Okay, so we've removed the screws that held these into the center and off of the legs, and as you can see, they just come right off. The lights themselves just plug into these little connectors on each chair, so those just unplugged, and then I simply had to cut these zip ties which were holding the light wiring up to the sides of the actual chair rails. But yeah, those are off. Now I don't know if I'm going to need to reuse these on the new chair, so once we get these out and we get the new ones in, we'll see how you attach the three together. We might have to reuse these rails. Yep, just as I thought too, once I started unscrewing these, they kind of all fell apart a little bit. And yeah, they're all divided up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. I thought that it was going to break apart into 6 pieces because when the new ones came in, I saw how the boxes were kind of laid out and figured this is what it would look like. But the power supplies right here actually just unplug from the backs of the chairs as well. So I might need to reuse those. I doubt it. I bet the new ones are going to come with probably everything I need to assemble, maybe except for this, but we'll find out. But yeah, we're going to start taking this stuff, putting it outside, unboxing the new ones and bringing them in. So we'll go ahead and bring them inside and kind of set them up like this so you can see what they look like. All right, even though it's very conveniently divided up into a bunch of pieces, it's absolutely still a chore. But I just wanted to quickly show you the difference in color. This is lighter than this one, and then you can see how the color contrast is gonna look right here. What do you guys think? I still gotta let my wife see the picture so she can make up her mind. We may end up having to swap the sofa out to match, but at this point, you know, it's coming along well. We just gotta remove this and then that, and then we'll be able to kind of place everything in place because it's already all in here. We just gotta get the old stuff out. Okay, so we have both seats and the center armrest inside now, and at first I was kind of worried because I didn't see a box for the power supply, but they had the power supplies taped or zip tied to the center brace right here, and it should just plug right in once I find the end of the cable, which might be right here. So it's certainly not the typical style barrel connector that you see on the older model, and it's Molex plugs and locking plugs as well. So once we get everything kind of in place, we'll go ahead and assemble it, plug it all in. But yeah, the power supplies are taped to this portion right here. Okay, so the chairs that we removed, had this brace that connects them, whereas the new ones have the little quick slide-in connectors right here that connect them. So that's a bit of a difference. These already have the rubber grommets on the floor. And my theory behind this right here is that it's put in place for ease of installation when Coachman assembles everything. Basically, on the assembly line, it's a lot easier to pick up the entire theater seat as one assembly versus having to kind of unpack everything and plug everything in and connect it the right way. So this is the way that you get it aftermarket. And when it's installed in the RV at the factory, they put these braces across the bottom simply because it allows it to be one unit that they simply set in place. That's my theory, at least. We're going to go ahead and connect these. We'll put the backs on them, and then we'll plug everything in and slide it into place. And this armrest looks to be a little wider than the one we removed. Maybe actually closer to about 2 inches wider. So it's going to be interesting to see how this fits. Overall, it's supposed to be the same dimensions. And the reason for that is because these armrests right here are just a little bit narrower. But yeah, let's get these things assembled, slid into place, and slid, literally connecting the pieces to the center in place, and then we will get it all connected and see how it looks. Okay, so we have the top connected to the bottom right here, and thankfully they mark everything for you. I didn't find any instructions, so you're essentially kind of on your own to do this. But I was looking at this and I was digging around underneath here at this big harness trying to figure out where the heck do you plug the power supply into. And then yeah, my buddy just pointed right here. So that's where it plugs into, I think. And I think, well, I'm pretty sure, unless that's how you kind of daisy chain them. But it looks like that would go in there. Maybe take this little retainer off. But we'll find out here in a second. I'm gonna get it all connected in place the way I think you're supposed to, and then we'll see what happens. And on the back of this centerpiece, there's also wires on each side, and then there is this piece right here. So my theory is that this is all designed to be daisy chained to each other, but I don't necessarily see what you would daisy chain this section to right here unless there was a plug coming off of the side here, which I don't see. So we'll see what we can do. I mean, hopefully this works. I only have 2 outlets back here, and I wouldn't imagine they would make this so you need 3 outlets to make all this work. But let's find out. Again, these might connect somewhere to here to allow me to connect it all together. But yeah, we're figuring it out. Okay, so you do indeed need 3 plugs if you want to connect all 3 of these together. So you would need one for each recliner, which is these, and then you'd need a third one for the center armrest because you have a 110 outlet up here with a couple USB ports. So if you want those to work, you'll need, again, a small power strip so you can actually plug 3 total items in to this wall back here. They do this because the theater seating is designed so you can use it without this if you want. This is technically an add-on accessory, and if you want to add this, it needs its own power plug. Now these connections right here, I imagine, are for the light-up cup holders, and I still haven't found a place to plug these in. It's not to say it doesn't exist, but I'll probably have to consult with the folks over at LCI to figure out where I'm going to plug this in to this chair so it shares that connection to be able to turn the lights on and everything for the actual cup holders. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get everything connected. We tested all the functions on this chair, and I'll go over them with you here in a second as soon as we get everything in place. Okay, so here it is, the final result of today's effort. Very, very cool. And there's so much more seating width right here. I mean, it's crazy. It's at least 3 inches wider overall because you don't have that cushion that's kind of overlapping down there. It also has the same kind of glowing rings. Well, the difference here is that on the other ones, the bottom lit up, and on this one, the outside does, and you tap this to turn the lights on or off or to change colors, which is kind of cool. Whereas the controls are entirely different, and there's far more of them on this specific series of theater seating. Over here are your controls. You have the ability to adjust your headrest angle, which is really nice, especially if you're in a reclined position. You have the ability to power recline the seat, which is also really cool. I'll put this one all the way back while I'm talking about it. It goes back really far. So we have this seat completely reclined right now, and again, with the power headrest feature, you can tilt the headrest up as well pretty far. So that is just absolutely awesome. You still have heat, vibrate. So there's your vibrating feature, there's your heat feature, and you can change your lumbar as well. So this gives you a tremendous amount of controls, as well as a USB port to charge your phone or tablet or whatnot. And what's nice is, if you don't want to charge your phone or tablet from there, you can do it from here. So you have two USB ports here, a 110 outlet as well. And check out all the cup holders. So we have 4 cup holders here. Now, you may be wondering what these little things on the end are. And if you've looked at some Grand Design units and some other units in the past, you've probably seen little tables that go in there. Well, this is just a little bit different because there's actually power that can be provided to whatever accessory you put in here. And one that they included is this nifty little fan on this kind of bendable gooseneck arm. So you simply take that, you plug it down, then you press the power button, and it blows a significant amount of air. There's 3 speeds. It's just kind of insane. I'm gonna hold the microphone over it so maybe you can hear it. But yeah, it blows a lot of air. It's surprising how much air this little fan blows. I mean, that can come in really handy if you just want to get a little bit more air on you, and you have one on each side. So you could get 2 of these and really circulate some air. I can feel the air. Shoot, I'm probably almost 2 yards away from it, and I can feel the air up here above the island. That thing blows a ton of air. And honestly, don't take my word for it. If you have the option to plug this in, get one of these, and you will see just how much air this thing moves. It's insane. They should probably put like a Dyson sticker on this thing because it really moves some air. But yeah, this is such a cool setup, and it's so much more practical. In terms of overall width, I believe it's about 1 inch wider overall than my previous one, but I still have plenty of room here for the dinette. And the reason why I say that is, you see that little cleat down there on the bottom? That's used to strap the chairs down, and there was about 2 inches clearance between it and the side of the previous love seat, whereas now there's only about 1 inch. So it takes up just a little bit more room. It still sits perfectly in front of the windows right here. And what's nice is you can actually scoot it over a little bit further because it doesn't have that big cushion on the end of the armrest. But check this thing out. This is super cool. I mean, it is absolutely 100 times better than what we had and what we removed. Now comes the serious question. Does it look okay like this, or should we replace this as well? Because this is a sleeper sofa. This thing weighs a ton, and it folds out into like a king-size bed. But definitely provide your feedback in the comments below. Does it look okay the way it is, or do I need to match the 2? I personally don't think so, and I think the camera kind of makes the contrast stand out a little bit more than it normally would. But yeah, I think it looks really good. And again, give me your feedback on this. Should we replace the sofa with a new sofa that matches? Anyways, guys, I will put a link in the description of this video if this is something you might be interested in. It is a heck of an upgrade. I would honestly tell you that once my wife gets in here and she's able to sit in this, she will probably be ecstatic because she really didn't like the ones that we removed, which was also a Thomas Payne product from LCI. So it's better because it's truly better. It's got better features, it's power. You don't have to worry about unintentionally hitting that little touch panel on the cup holder ring and turning on the heat and the vibrate. I mean, this is just a much better setup, and they've really taken it to the next level with this. So if this is something you've been on the fence about, I can honestly say I am very pleased with this upgrade. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we will talk to you again very soon. Maybe even while sitting down, enjoying the reclined, vibrating chair with glowing cup holders and an adjustable headrest. Talk to you guys later.